Welcome to Echoes of Time, a journey into the forgotten worlds and the secrets they left behind.
All right, let's just jump right in. For 2,000 years, one single figure has kind of haunted our collective imagination, the Antichrist. So today, we're going to crack the ancient code behind this ultimate villain and uncover the real and pretty surprising story of where this whole idea actually came from. And it all really starts with this, right? The most famous number in history, 666. I mean, it's so connected with evil that when Ronald and Nancy Reagan moved into a new house, they literally had the address changed from 666 to 668. They did not want to live at the Antichrist's address.
But what does this number actually mean? You know, most of us think of it as the devil's number, some kind of supernatural symbol for pure evil. But the truth is, that's not even close. The number 666 isn't a mystical symbol. It's a cryptogram. It's a coded message.
And this right here basically lays out our whole investigation. The popular idea, this single supervillain coming in the future, that's a myth, one that was built up over centuries. The historical reality is that this all started as a coded political message aimed at a very specific and very real person. And here's probably the first big shocker for a lot of people. The word Antichrist only shows up 4 times in the entire Bible. And get this, none of them are in the book of Revelation, the one book everyone associates with him. The writer who did use the term, John, he actually talks about many antichrists, plural, who he said were just false teachers already around in his day. So if the Bible isn't all that specific, where on earth did we get our modern movie villain image of the Antichrist? Well, it was built piece by piece, kind of like a puzzle. Theologians over the centuries took descriptions from different parts of the Bible and stitched them together into one single composite character. And here are the main parts they used. First, you've got the little horn from the book of Daniel. That's an arrogant, God-hating king. Then they added Paul's man of lawlessness, a deceiver who actually declares himself to be God. And finally, they mixed in the beast from Revelation, a tyrant who gets his power from Satan and is identified by, you guessed it, a mysterious number. And that brings us right back to the number. To really get what 666 is about, we have to go back to the time it was written and solve the original puzzle. So let's crack the code and meet the man who started this whole thing, the Roman Emperor Nero.
You have to understand the world this came from. It's 64 CE, and a massive fire has just destroyed Rome. Emperor Nero needs a scapegoat, and he picks this small, widely misunderstood group, the Christians. He kicks off this horrific, sadistic persecution, and it's that atmosphere of pure terror that serves as the backdrop for the Book of Revelation and its secret code. Just how horrific was it? Well, the Roman historian Tacitus, who, by the way, was no friend of the Christians, he described Nero's cruelty. He wrote that Christians were made into a joke, they were set on fire to be used as human torches to light up Nero's gardens at night. I mean, can you even imagine? This is exactly why they saw him as the ultimate enemy of mankind. So how did they hide his name in their writings? They used a pretty common practice back then called gematria. See, in ancient Hebrew and Greek, letters also worked as numbers. This meant every single name had a numerical value. This wasn't some kind of dark magic, it was just arithmetic. And it was the perfect way to send a hidden message.
And the text of Revelation practically gives us the instructions. It doesn't say fear the number or anything like that. It says calculate the number because it's the number of a specific man. It's basically telling you, hey, this is a math problem. And the man at the center of that problem was the one they feared most, Nero Caesar. So to solve it, you first take his name and title, Neron Caesar, which is how it was spelled in Aramaic and Hebrew. And when you write that out using Hebrew letters, it looks like this. Now, you just do the math. Each one of those Hebrew letters has a value. Nun is 50, Resh is 200, Vav is 6, and you just keep going. So the critical thing is, when you add them all together, you get exactly 666. The dreaded number of the beast was a coded political statement, a secret message passed among the persecuted that said, Nero is the beast. The original mystery is solved. But hold on, there's a fascinating little twist. Some of the absolute oldest copies of Revelation that we have don't actually say 666. They have a totally different number. Was that just a simple typo by a scribe? That number is 616. And for centuries, people just assumed it was a mistake.
But it turns out it's not a mistake at all. It's actually the final piece of proof.
Here's why. If you use the Latin spelling of Nero's name instead of the Greek or Hebrew one, the math changes just a little bit. And the result? It's exactly 616. So this wasn't an error, it was a translation choice. Greek-speaking Christians got the message with 666, and Latin-speaking Christians got the version with 616. Two different numbers pointing to the exact same man. But as time went on, the original meaning got completely lost. The figure of the Antichrist was detached from Nero, and it morphed from a specific historical enemy into this timeless political weapon just ready to be aimed at anyone. And boy, was it used. In the Middle Ages, a pope declared the Holy Roman Emperor was the Antichrist. A few hundred years later, during the Protestant Reformation, Martin Luther said the entire papacy was the Antichrist. So of course, the church turned right around and labeled Luther the Antichrist. It became the ultimate political insult. In this pattern of pointing fingers, it has never, ever stopped. The hunt for the Antichrist is still going on today, and it's become this powerful mirror that just reflects back our own modern anxieties and our deepest political divides. I mean, the list of candidates is just endless. Napoleon, Hitler, Ronald Reagan. Yep, some people thought his name, Ronald Wilson Reagan, with 6 letters in each name, was the sign. Mikhail Gorbachev, Saddam Hussein, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Bill Gates. It seems like every generation just finds a new face to fit the old description. After 2 millennia of this, of all these accusations and a perfect 0 for 1,000 record of failed predictions, you have to start wondering, maybe we've been asking the wrong question this whole time. Maybe the real question isn't who is the Antichrist, but what our constant need to find one says about us. The figure has always been a mirror, reflecting the deepest political, cultural, and even technological fears of whatever era we're in. The monster we're hunting is so often just a projection of ourselves.
This was Echoes of Time. If you love powerful history stories, subscribe and continue the journey with us.